to the extent that Google is saying, look, we're going to keep our big infrastructure spend, $75 billion, full steam ahead, which is great for the ecosystem, great for NVIDIA, great for everybody in that world. Do we think that holds up if we think there's a hiccup between now and whenever all of this tariff stuff gets sorted, if it does?
I think it's going to hold up. I mean, look, I just think that this investment in CapEx and the data center build-outs is so strategic right now. I mean, I think that the hyperscalers, it's not only good for their businesses, but I think they see it as so strategic to their survival that they just have to do it no matter what. In other words, I think they're totally inelastic on this. But let me just go back to Google. Nick, can you throw up this chart? I mean, I think the problem that Google has with respect to ChatGPT is that Gemini is just not getting the usage, and ChatGPT is just growing like crazy. If you look at how these models perform according to the benchmarks, Gemini is actually really good. I mean, Gemini has made substantial progress catching up to ChatGPT, but they have not caught up on the usage side. Now, to Chamath's point, you could just make Gemini the default interface in Google search, but that is true innovator's dilemma, because if you do that, you could be giving up more than half the search revenue. So I do think Google is in a really tough spot, and the longer they wait to make Gemini front and center, the worse this usage problem gets. I mean, what's basically happening right now is users are learning a new habit. I mean, they're learning to go to ChatGPT to get their questions answered, or just their searches answered in a completely different way.
And let's be honest, they make using Gemini impossible. And they can do just a much better job. At a minimum, give the best leading edge Gemini model to the 270 million people that are already paying you for a subscription. Just do that. Do something so that you can start to blunt the growth of OpenAI. Otherwise, you're going to look back in 4 years and regret hemming and hawing today.
So Chamath, you're the CEO of Google. You've got a $200 billion run rate search ad business. What's the right kind of integration of Gemini such that you don't massively disrupt the search ad business overnight? Or do you not care and you're just going to do it? I think that's the conundrum they're dealing with.
That's not a conundrum. If you don't understand how to value $1 today versus $1 tomorrow and a discount rate to disambiguate the emotionalness of that decision, it's not a hard decision to make. I think the more difficult question is, what does the integration look like? And if you are already paying for a YouTube subscription or a Google One subscription, what should your experience be? That's a key question. The second question is, today, they're already inserting Gemini in all kinds of uncomfortable ways. So for example, if you use Gmail or if you use Google Workspace, what happens today is all these random Gemini pop-ups come up all over the place. That is an implementation that happened at way too junior a level by people that have no product taste. So if you just stop that, it's not hard. But right now you have a bunch of, honestly, people that don't have taste and are a little too junior, creating a very cluttered experience. And if you use the products every day, it would be hard for you to disagree with me.
They have infinite capital and infinite access to talent.
Capital doesn't buy taste.
Right. So what do you think's wrong?
I agree that the Google interface trying to incorporate Gemini into the 20 blue links or whatever is very kludgy, but I don't know how you fix that without just getting rid of the blue links. Right. I mean, I guess you can do a hybrid experience, but it doesn't compare to ChatGPT, which is all in on the AI experience. So I think it's a real innovator's dilemma for them. And
look, the truth is the market was killing them already because people thought that first little AI summary thing was actually going to kill the blue link economy, right? Like that was their worry. And so it's this I think it is a terrible conundrum if you're Sundar. How do you do both things at the same time? Chamath, I think you're right. There's a design way to do it, but they're not doing it.
This comes down to taste. And I think you can't have groupthink drive creativity and taste. You either have it or you don't. And you need to find the one or two people, and then you need to use the strength of your leverage as a CEO and the ownership that Larry and Sergey have to impose one person's taste on the decision.
Well, Chamath, let me ask you a question. When the Google homepage, where they just have the search bar and you can basically submit your search, or I feel lucky or whatever, would you replace that with that search bar with an AI chatbot?
No, here's what I would do. I would first go to the critical other points that are around that today do not cannibalize the blue links. So the obvious insight should be, if you look at the traffic patterns almost as a Sankey diagram, right?
Yeah, we just had one up.
Show a Sankey. Okay,
There we
so
go.
who cares about revenue? What the real thing you should be looking at here is where are the entry points into Google that then result in a clickable link? And what you would have is a very different Sankey. And what it would show you is that there are certain places that are highly de-optimized today for revenue generating events. They happen as a byproduct, but they don't happen as the use case. So in that example, you would put Gmail as a critical place, the YouTube One, the Google One subscription, and there's like 5 or 6 other places. That's where I would put Gemini as the front door and start to habituate 300 to 500 million people a week in using that. I think then you can figure out over time how much money you can make from all of that, or how it directs derivative revenue, and figure out what to do with Google.com last. But my point is, the experience in Gmail should be done today. The experience in YouTube should be done today. The experience in Google One should be done today.
Okay, Nick, can you put up this? Here's their homepage, right? This is the famous shot. I just checked
This
it.
I would leave
This hasn't
this alone.
changed in 25 years or whatever.
I would leave it alone because I think it's too disruptive and it's too politically fraught. I mean,
Well,
you could do some
what if they
A/B
replaced
tests.
I'm feeling lucky, which is kind of antiquated now, with AI? I mean, Gemini, basically.
I mean, I would need to look at the Sankey to understand how many people are actually generating monetizable events or behavior from I'm feeling lucky in 2025. I'm not sure it's the novelty it was in 1999.
No, it isn't the novelty. I think it's just there as like a whimsical thing. I don't know if it drives revenue for them or not. If it takes the user off site, I don't see how it drives revenue for them.
It just reminds me that at some point, somebody needs to impose their will to make very difficult product decisions. And if you leave it to a team, you'll end up with, by the way, go to Gmail today with 95 Gemini pop-ups. It's not what will allow them to win with what they have, which is a better product, which I will agree. It is a meaningfully better model on multiple dimensions than anything else.